Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Katie. I have some tea today, but I have some jasmine tea. It's a nice spring flower tea. I don't know if it's a spring flower. And my enemies to lovers Fable coffee mug. So today's video is going to be the spring cleaning book tag. This is just a fun little book tag as spring is now upon us. I got my pastels. My eyeshadow is very bold and fun today and pastel-y. We're just having a moment, you know? And as such, let's just do this tag because I just thought it was kind of cute and festive. So the first prompt question, I'm not really sure if it's a question, but the first prompt is getting started a book series that you've been wanting to read. So many, I mean, too many. That's why all of us are here. That's why you're watching this video right now, is we're all obsessed with books and then we just want to keep reading more and finding more. But I would say The Age of Uprising is one. The Engines of Empire, Engines of Chaos, that series. That's been one that I've been wanting to read for quite a while and I just have not gotten to. So I would like to get to that soon. Elliot Brooks really loves it and I think it sounds really interesting. I have the first book up there and I would really like to get to that. I've been meaning to, like I said, for quite a bit and just haven't. So that's definitely one I've been wanting to read. But there's so many I want to read. And number 2, cleaning, organizing the closet. What is the best way to organize your bookshelves? Whatever makes you happy, you know? For me, I'm mostly fantasy anyway, so I'm not going to say like I group genres together because like I do that a little bit. Like all my fantasy romance situation is like over there. But in general, I just organize series. I try to put series together like this if I can. Sometimes, especially right now when I'm running out of space and desperately need to probably get rid of some books, I have to separate them sometimes to make it work, but I prefer to have series together. And then I try to organize by size as much as possible. Obviously, I can't make it work completely and perfectly every time, but like I try to have it something like this where they're a very similar height and they're all kind of together like that, so it looks more pristine instead of it just being up and down and up and down. I also think that looks fine and interesting and cool. I just prefer it this way, and this is just kind of how I like to organize it, but I don't think there's a right or wrong way. But there's ways that I prefer. Like if I'm trying to find a book and it's in a series, I can go to the series and find it. If it was sporadic and everywhere, that would bother me, but if you want to organize your books that way, go for it. Like whatever works for you. But that's what I prefer to do. I like it that way. Then number 3, getting rid of unnecessary things. What is a book or series you're going to be getting rid of? I mentioned this in my March reading wrap up, but I'm getting rid of the Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. That series, I got the Bookish Box editions, which were beautiful. I was really excited about them. I was actually really happy that I got them at the time, and I hadn't read any of them. And so I was kind of scared, but then I read the first book and loved it and dove immediately into the second book, really liked the second book. And then it just started going downhill for me and I really didn't like the series. I read the third book and the fourth book and I was like, well, maybe the fifth book will bring it back and be better for me. I'll enjoy it more. No. And then I was like, okay, maybe the sixth book will bring it back for me and wrap everything up and I will like it. No. The rest of the series I really didn't care for. So if you don't like 4 out of the 6 books in a series, I was like, I don't need to keep this, right? So I have gone ahead and got rid of those already. So they're not going to be in my unhaul when I do it, but I could potentially briefly mention them, but just letting you guys know. I went ahead and offloaded that to somebody else that will appreciate it way more than I will. So I was sad because they were beautiful, but I hope their new home will love them. Number 4, getting some air. Your favorite lighthearted read. Honestly, right now, like coming out of March and February, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia for Fairies was so cute and fun, but while it is lighthearted, I don't want to say that one particularly because there are some danger elements and some things that you're worried about happening to the characters, so it's not like it's completely stress-free or there's no tension or dangerous elements in the book. So I will say that one, but I'm also going to say Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, I think it is. The book that I read in February about the girl that owns a flower shop in a small town in Kentucky, and this tattooed bodyguard is in town and they start kind of falling for each other. That was just such like a cute, like there's tension as in like, will they, won't they, like that kind of a situation, but you know they will eventually. But there's not a lot of like really dangerous situations, really horrible situations. It's just kind of really fun and heartwarming and cute. So that one was, I really, really liked that book, and there wasn't even a lot of spice in it or anything. It was just kind of nice, and I really, really liked that book. So probably that one right now. Number 5 is Clean Out the Kitchen Cabinets. What is a food-themed book? I was thinking about this for a little bit actually, and I don't think I really have any food-themed books specifically. The only one I can think of right off the top of my head that I physically own is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, and then I have the audiobook of A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic by Jay Penner, I think it is, and those are the two that I think the only ones that really fit this prompt. But A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic for sure. It's like the Great British Baking Show. I mentioned this in my March reading wrap up, but that one's very centered around food, but also Legends and Lattes because it talks a lot about coffee. It's very soothing. It's like a cafe environment. They have like these chocolate croissants, and they have cinnamon rolls and just stuff like that. So those are the two ones that I would say are more food oriented or themed. Number 6 is Dust the Shelves. What is the 5th book on your shelf? So for this, I have 6 shelves. It's the same setup behind me. I have one here and one over there and on the other side of the living room. So I'm gonna say this shelf is one, but I also have books on the tops where I have bookends, but I'm not gonna count that. I'm just gonna count the first shelf. So let me go ahead and grab the 5th book on the first shelf, and it is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I don't really know what to say about this, right? Because everybody knows about this. This might be a hot take. I really like the new covers. I love the spines. I love the front covers with the designs, with the color. I really like them. I know people weren't big fans of them, the redesigns, but I actually really liked them. And when I saw the redesigns, I hadn't even read the series and I bought them all because I loved it so much. I'm glad I did, honestly. Because they were also like a really good price at the time. But yeah, this is the 5th book. I'm sure you've heard of it. And then question number 7 is Wishing for the End, a 2024 release you're looking forward to. Several, I would say. I'm not trying to rush because spring is just the beginning and then we get into summer, which is my favorite season. I love summer. But one I am really looking forward to, it's more in August, not necessarily the end of the year, but is Apprentice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maher. I loved Assistant to the Villain, and it was just so fun, so funny, so cute, kind of dark, kind of not, just humorous and wonderful and fairy tale vibes. And I loved it. And I'm very excited for Apprentice to the Villain to see what happens with Evie, because apparently she's going to kind of go dark a little bit. We'll see. And obviously I can't wait for, I think it's October, but I can't wait for October, November, because Spectacular by Stephanie Garber is coming out and we're going to go back to Caraval. I'm so happy. It's only a novella, so I know I need to tamper my expectations because it's only a novella and it's gonna go so fast, but I am just so thrilled that even though it's a little holiday Christmas novella, which is usually not my favorite thing, that we're gonna be getting some of my favorite characters back from Caraval, like Legend. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I was actually a little bit disappointed when she announced it because I thought she was announcing a new book she was doing, but when I realized that we were going back to the Caraval world, I was so happy because I really love those characters. And I can't wait to go back to the world. It's just gonna be so fun. I can't wait. It's gonna be so whimsical and joyous. So that one for sure. And then last but not least, number 8 is Long But Satisfying, the longest book series you've read. I was thinking about this and I don't really read a lot of long series. I tend to kind of stay away from long series because it's just a lot of commitment and a lot of time. So when I was thinking about it, I think like probably a lot of people's answers to this is the Harry Potter series because it's 7 books. So I would say that one is probably the longest series right now that I've read. Bonds That Tie was 6 books, but you know, it wasn't my favorite. But it was close. So probably those two. I know like I'm never gonna read Wheel of Time because it's just too many books. I can't even think about it. And for Dune, I think I would only read the first 3. Like there's many book series that are longer than that, but I don't think any of them are gonna be kind of in my realm. Well, I guess when I read the Witcher series, when I finish that, that's probably the longest series, but I haven't read that. So the longest series that I have read at this moment in time is Harry Potter. Well, that was all of the questions for this spring cleaning book tag. Please comment down below and let me know your answers to these questions if you want to. And as always, if there's any videos you would like to see from me, just let me know. As for now, that is it for today's video. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.